The king had many wives, but none had given him a child. Not a son. Not a daughter. Not even a cry in the night to echo the sound of a future. In the ancient kingdom of Ozioma, the laws were older than memory, and the people listened more to drums than to dreams. It was a place where the crown was feared more than it was revered. And where women were rarely heard at all. The king, Obanif, was powerful, yet his palace was quiet, too quiet. His throne had stood for years without an heir, and the gods, they say, had begun to frown. Then the oracle spoke. Only a daughter of the leopard clan shall open the womb of this kingdom. So the search began. Not for a queen, but for a vessel. A girl. A solution. They found her in the village of Umadim. Her name was EZINE, the firekeeper's daughter. Stubborn. Sharp-tongued. A spirit too wild for a place like the palace. And yet, she was chosen. Not because she asked to be. But because a father owed debts. And a kingdom wanted answers. They brought her to the palace with no gold, no songs, no joy. Just silence. She was barely 18. Inside the palace, beauty wore a mask. Ivory doors, bronze pillars, walls painted with gods and ghosts. But behind the splendor were whispers. And behind those whispers danger. EZINE was not like the other wives. She didn't lower her gaze. She didn't sweeten her words. She walked as if the earth itself had made room for her. And that made her dangerous. The king's other queens watched her with eyes sharp like daggers. The servants whispered when she passed. The elders studied her like a puzzle that shouldn't exist. And as months passed, her womb remained silent. No heir. No child. No prophecy fulfilled. The king grew impatient. But EZINE didn't cower. Then, the king fell ill. Suddenly, the whispers grew louder. Poison, they said. Rebellion, they feared. And one name echoed in the shadows. Oda. The new wife. The outsider. The fire that burned too brightly. But EZINE stayed. She did not flee. She did not weep. She fasted. Prayed. Waited. And then, on a night when the rain fell hard and the palace seemed to hold its breath, the king called for her. They spoke in hushed tones behind closed doors. No one knows what was said that night. Only that when dawn broke, the king was dead. And EZINE stood in the throne room, holding a pendant carved from lion bone. The council gathered. The elders shouted. You are not queen. You have no son. Step aside. But EZINE did not move. The people began to murmur. Farmers. Mothers. Young warriors. They remembered a woman who danced with them during the moon festival. Who visited the sick. Who listened. And then, something unheard of happened. The people rose not in rebellion, but in remembrance. Of who they were. And what they wanted. They did not ask her to rule. They demanded it. Years passed. Under her leadership, the kingdom of Ozioma changed. Women sat in councils. Girls learned beside boys. Land returned to the hands of those who tilled it. And EZINE. She became more than a wife. More than a queen. She became a mother, not just to a daughter named Amoka, but to a nation reborn. One day, under the shade of the Iroko tree, young Amoka asked, Mama, how did you become queen? And with a knowing smile, EZINE answered, I didn't become queen, my child. I became myself. And the world finally made space for me. If this story moved something in you, don't let it stop here. Like this video if you believe tradition should never silence truth. You believe your voice deserves to be heard. Subscribe for more untold stories from the motherland. Because somewhere, out there, another order is waiting. To rise. To reign. To remember who she is.